Hello, folks. How are you? My name is Wajahat Karim. I'm currently live from Pakistan, and I'm so much excited to be here at droidCon APAC. Thank you for joining me here, and I would like to talk about Jetpack Compose for games and animations today. So, a little about me. I'm a Google developer expert, and I have been doing Android development for more than 7 years now. I also write articles on Medium and my website, and I also do public speaking like this. So, yeah, let's get it started. So, you are already aware of now that Jetpack Compose is speeding up to the beta, and it's almost established now. So you might be aware of it that it's a very rapidly modern UI toolkit which simplifies, the traditional Android XML and Java Kotlin, pair of the layout creations and activities in a very easy and simple way. So it's ideally a declarative UI platform for Android development at this moment. So I'm talking about this. I'm going to talk about more about like animation specifically. So you might have seen this a lot. In There are some very good demos already on GitHub and on Twitter being shared over and again. Some great work by Alex Lockwood, and there is this very awesome repository about Jetpack Compose called as Compose Cookbook by Gurpreet Singh. You may hear him today on another talk later at droidCon APEC. So, so in our traditional context, like in our Android and XML, we had transitions and we had object animator, we had these different kinds of APIs evolved over the time about creating different kind of animation. But one major challenge there was is that it was always a little harder. Now motion layout has come up and it has solved a lot of problems, and it has fixed some issues, and it has made things a lot easier than it was before in animation for the Android development. But Jetpack Compose is still in beta stage and alpha stage, so there is like going some evolution through that as well. So this in this talk, I'm going to explain about various different ways of animations regarding Jetpack Compose, because I felt that when I was looking out through some animation, there is so much content going around the places coming up, and then there is some content which is already old and are not applicable because API has changed. So it got me a little confused as to what kind of animation, what kind of methods are there for the animations in Jetpack Compose. So this is sort of like a summary of all the things which exist in Jetpack Compose for animation. So let's start with that. So these are the five things which I am going to focus on at this in this talk. So first is about animate content size, animated visibility. Then we have animate and transition. So let's start one by one. Uh, let's start from the simplest one. So So this is the animate content size. Now I have my composable as expandable text, and I have two states, short text and long text. So idea is that I created a state to flip between these tests, like from the short to long and long to short, and so this is my simple composable. Now, the most important and most simplest thing I have done in this composable is this: adding this modifier, animate content size. So now this single modifier will just do it itself. Like you can see on the right state that when I press the buttons and click me, then it becomes automatically long, then it becomes automatically short. So idea is that this modifier makes sure that whatever the content of this composable is, it will be reflected through the animation, like through the transition. It will not be an instantaneous animation. It will be over the time animation. So I have done this in a simple text example, but you can do it in any kind of composable. Like let's see here. So I have added simple image kind of example here, that we have different kind of aspect ratios for images. So we have a portrait mode, and I have again added in this whole image just this simple one. And not only that, I can actually modify the animation behavior through my animation spec variable. I can tell how much duration it can take and what kind of easing it should apply. And I can also listen to the updates and have an end listener for this kind of animation. So, so if you have mm, image, like you can apply this in read more or some other content size changes, like where you know that how much content varies between two states, then you can only very easily apply, animate content size. There is nothing and nothing fancy, too much hard stuff, and it's very simple and at the same time beautiful, for your application. So that was our first. So now let's focus on the visibility. So personally, this is the one which I really liked a lot. So you have seen this kind of floating action button in your application where you have icon with the text. So when you scroll from icon to text, then you see that it flips the changes between icon plus text with only icon. So I have this floating action button, but before that, this is an experimental animation API. So you need to add this annotation. So now we have this floating action button with a row. In that we have icon and text. So usually, in a normal way, I would add icon and text in the same element. But what I did different here is that I added animated visibility composable. So unlike animate content size, this is not a modifier. This is actually a composable in which you can add the things around. So the things will go with will switch the state between from shown or hidden. So whatever elements you have which you want to hide in future possibility, then you wrap those around in animated visibility. And here I have passed the state, like whether you should show it or you should hide it. So I am flipping the stage between click, but ideally this should be done in like on scroll behavior. When you are crawling up on the list, then you are switching the states. So here we have some more examples of that. So we can add an inter transition, as you can see in the second picture, that when the button is pressed, like is coming from like left side. So I have added an inter transition, like slide in horizontally. Then I have added offset. How much offset is it? So it is 300 pixels from the original position, so it will come up from there. And then I have put a animation twin with a duration. So I can add easing and that kind of things in an spec variable. Then I can do exit. So in the below picture, there is a both enter plus exit. So enter is like first, then exit is like down. So you can modify it almost at the same level which we have in animate content size. So yeah. So these are some examples which I have created with with animated visibility. You can see a beautiful bottom menu on the right side, uh, I all had done like you know add visibility on all the text elements of the all bottom admin. So now whichever menu gets selected, its text animity visibility is on, and whichever was previously selected, its text visibility shows off. So with this simple approach, I managed to create this very simple but beautiful bottom menu. So you can do these in your examples applications as well very easily. So now uh, we are done with content size and animated visibility. So now we have animate. So animate is like animate content size was all about content changes, and visibility was all about like switching the visible states between two. But what is the case when we don't have either content size or visibility? We have some more transformations, like we want to do scale, we want to do color optimizations, and we want to do other kind of stuff. So that's where animate comes in. This works in more in a way like animate content size. So uh, there is this method uh, animate. So I can pass in any kind of value in it. So at this time, it supports integers, DPs, colors, rectangles, and some more examples. So idea is that so I have, for example, color. So when button is enabled, its color is primary, otherwise is secondary. And when button is enabled, its height is 40, otherwise 60. So I have defined some transformations like what happened, uh, like two changes from 40 to 60, from 150 to 300 dp, and then instead of background color equal to color, I have set background color equal to animate color. And similarly, prefer height uh, equal to height rather than preferred height animate height. So you have just wrapped animate, and now compose will figure out that what was the original state and what is the current state being passed in, and then it will switch over the target state over the time in animation way. So you can see how scale and color button is zoom in, zoom out, and then at the same time it's switching color. So this is very simple but very effective and powerful way in Jetpack Compose for animations. You can do a lot of bunch of stuff with this. You cannot imagine that what kind of things you can do just using the animate, because it does a lot of stuff for you already, which you don't need to bother around, and you don't need to write a lot of boilerplate code with just transition, just to do a transition. So let's see a good example. So I have this true false state that whether currently selected is a female or male, and then I have passed this value like this. So we have row with two images, and now you can see that I have a pass prefer side if female value, then 100, otherwise 250, and then border I have placed a border from 0 to 4, and I have placed borders color from transparent to red, and then I have also added rounded corner shape. Uh, you know. So now I have added these bunch of properties defining animate, and all these are based on the female state variable. So now what happens that when I select male, its size is increased to 250, and it comes with a border, and it's have rounded corners. And then when I deselect the male, then it goes again to the original state of 100 dp with no border and no rounding corners. So this is simple example of how you can actually manipulate animate in uh, whatever you want to achieve. So we have some good examples of this. Mm, like there is some examples on group precincts, compose cookbook repository, and then I have some created some my own. I'll end it in the end of the screen, end of the slide. So you can see that I had created this circular menu, and it was very easy. Like I created this in my old back days in Android native development. It was a lot of code, but with few lines of code, I managed to create simple, very interesting circular menu. So now let's focus on animated value. So animate is in good in a lot of ways because it gives us a lot of freedom to do whatever we want to do. But in some cases we need some repetition, we need some behavior which allows us to run the cycles and do some more stuff with it. So that's where animated value comes in. So animated value is like you know under the hood thing for the animate method. So idea is that we have these animated states, animated float, animated integer, animated color, and I have given initial values 1f or color dot red, and now when this composable, this heartbeat composable is gets active, then I'm defining the target state. So I'm saying that animation scale should animate 1.3 in scale, and then I am defining the behavior, like how many iterations it should do. I have placed infinite, and then I am giving the NM spec what kind of twin it should use, and what is the easing, how much delay it should have, and how much duration it should be. So you can see that there is 1000 milliseconds, means 1 second delay between each animation repeated, and it will be repeated infinitely. So if I say that iteration should be 2, so this animation will only run twice and then it will end. So now instead of my original value, let's say I say that okay, heartbeat composables height should be like 1f, then 1.1f, then 1.2f, then 1.3f. So instead of that, I am placing nm scales value. So you can see that I have multiplied it with 40 to behave it like a percentage. So you can do much more customizable things with animated value. This is almost similar to animate content. So let me show you a little of the compose canvas and give you some good idea about how we can use animated value in a more interesting way. So compose canvas is a simple spacer. It only does one thing. Whatever you pass it, it will apply it on draw scope. So uh, So in when we are rendering on the compose canvas, we don't focus on creating more composables. Rather, we create more extension methods of the draw scope like this. So draw scope already comes with some methods already, like draw rectangle, draw over, draw images, circle, sparse. Then whatever custom shape I want to create, I will define it like fun draw scope dot draw my shape, and then I can call it that function in my canvas, DSL. Uh, Remember that you cannot call composable method inside the draw scope. So let's take an example. So we have a canvas, and we said okay. Uh, Apply the size whatever you are in. So it will be device size. Now I'm defining the circle rate 300 with 200 and 100 circles. So it's just that simple. It's all about mostly mathematics, that you need to figure out that what kind of coordinates you are going to render in, and how much size it should have, and where it should exactly be. So uh, now let's focus on our animated value, uh, you know, variable. So we have position x animated value, which starts from 0 and it goes to 500f with infinite iteration. Now I have again set this modifier, and in on draw I'm saying okay, create a rectangle, red rectangle. But the difference I have done is that I have applied transform. So we have rotate, we have translate, we have scale. So these are the transforms which I can apply on any kind of dry code methods. I can apply on canvas that before rendering do these things. So I'm saying before rendering translate. So where should I translate? If I specify 100, then it will directly move to the 100. But I want to animate here, so I said okay, left equal to nimport x dot value, and now nimport x will change its value from 0 to 1000 in from 0 to 500 in 1000 milliseconds. So and as it's getting updated, canvas will be redrawing the whole screen over and over again, and this will give us the simple animation. You know, uh, so there are bunch of these examples created. I managed to create a simple Dino Compose game, and then there has been a game Flappy Bird, which is going around by Ellie on Twitter, and then there are very good examples by Alex Lockwood on creating these kind of things, and these all are happening with this just simple animated float variables, and there is nothing much. They're mostly about mathematics and what to draw, when to draw, how to draw, and animated float is giving you the state over the time, that what should be the value at this frame. So it's very powerful. It's really powerful. You can do a lot of stuff with it. So now finally we are going to transition. So transitions are finally very solid example of solid API to create, you know, um, coordination. So you have bunch of these things, and you have text, you have buttons, you have views. Now you want to do, synchronous animations, like if this is coming up, this should be going, and that kind of stuff, like the things we do in motion layout. So let's see. I have defined, a scaffold here, and I have put a floating action button. Inside that, I have defined exploding fab button. So now, in the next slide, I'll focus on what will be inside this exploding fab button composable. So, so we have this exploding fab button composable, and I want to create, fab which will it fill up the whole screen, like we see in various different applications. So, uh, for that, I need, first of all, I need an enum to define the state. So I have normal state, I have exploded state. Normal means normal floating, and exploded is like filled up. And then uh, we have in transition these prop keys. So prop keys are almost similar like animated float variables are that kind of, but these are not values. These are only keys. So this will behave. We will see how we can use these. So I have created a prop key for the size. So this will tell me that what is the size of the floating action button at time 0, at time 1, at time 2, at time 3, and as it will keep exploding and growing, it will give me the more increased size. So now I have used the same enum fab size state as a remember, so that I can recompose it in Jetpack Compose. So for transitions, I need two things. The first is transition definition. So I can declare transition definition with this line, and I need to pass a type. So I am saying, okay, you need to create a transition definition for fab size state. So inside that, I have to define two things. Number one, the states. Number two, the transition. So let's focus on state first. States are like what happens when a state is normal and when button is exploded. So I can define those with state variable. So I'm saying that okay, state fab normal, then when it's normal, its size will be 80, and then when it's exploded, its size will be 5,000. So now I define it states. Now I'll focus on the transitions itself. So we have stayed from the previous slide in transition definition, and now I will be explaining how the migration from one transition to one state to other state will happen. So I'm saying okay, uh, transition from normal to exploded, or transition from exploded to normal. So if I have other states like okay, go up, then right, then below, then do this, then scale. So I will be adding more states and more transitions. So inside these transitions, I have just simply defined, okay, for the first normal to exploded, I said uh, take keyframes, and I have given at what happens. It will be 80 at 0, then it will be 35 at 200, and just to give us a exploded animation instead of simple linear animation, which will take 1000 milliseconds to reach its end state. So similarly, you can apply twins or other spec behavior in these. These are normal anime spec variables, so it's very portable. So now I have my transition definition ready. Now I have actually create a variable of transition and apply it on the fab. So let's do that. So we have this whole transition variable with states and transitions, and now I have defined the transition, and I said okay, this is the transition definition, and I said okay, this is the initial value of fab, so which is normal, and then I said okay, what is the final value, twist it. So I'm saying okay, when it's normal, then switch it, exploded or normal. And finally, I am actually defining the fab button composable and passing the size state and transition state. So now this floating button will only render a simple floating button, but we will see that how we are actually using the transition state and size state inside that. So this is our previous exploding fab button, and this is our current fab button. So first, I have size state, so I'm saying, okay, this is a floating action button, and its icon is add, and this is how I'm using the size state. So transition state is giving me the current value, but I need to pass the key, prop key, so which is my fab size key. So now fab size key will be increasing from 0 to 5000 in 1000 milliseconds, and this will give me the updated scale value at any moment, and this is how I can explode my fab. So these are a bunch of the animations. One is from Jobach, which I already mentioned in this slide. So there is this very simple animation and tutorial about from Revendelic about transitions. It will give you some more context, and you can create multiple different sets of animations and run it parallelly with transitions. It's very powerful. And recently, Android Studio have introduced this animation inspector, which allows you to see your all transitions inside the Android Studio. So I can see that how much, what DP prop key in prop key, and how much, how are they are changing, and I have also you can see that what is the state. So there is idle to press, then I can create more. So this is giving me a tooling support, and it's very good. It's very awesome actually. So it allows you see the animations step by step to understand that what's happening now. So so these are some resources. There is a pathway for compose. It's very good for beginners, and there are these bunch of examples by Alex Lockwood on his GitHub profile. Then Joe Birch is writing exploring Jetpack Compose book. So there is a very good stuff of articles, and group is have serious work on this repository Compose cookbook. You will see a lot of demo inside it, including animations as well. And Leland, which is on the team of the Jetpack Compose, is doing live streams almost multiple times a week on Jetpack Compose and teaching how Compose works and what's going behind the scenes and under the hood. And there Vinegar bar repository learn example by Compose. So this gives you context of how the original Android traditional development is done in Jetpack Compose. So this is a sort of comparative platform. So thank you for listening me. Really appreciate, and code is available on this repository, my on GitHub profile at droidCon 2020. I would really like to thank you droidCon for allowing me, having me here. It was really awesome, and this is my last talk of this year. So I'm pumped up for the next year. Hopefully that will be better considering our pandemic situation. Thank you. Thank you, Chrissy. Glad that you enjoyed it.
Hi, Wajahat. Oh, there's a question. Oh, sorry.
Do you think Compose can be used to build actual games? I think yes. There are a couple of games already created on Jetpack Compose. Uh, I would say that it's still not that powerful as compared to OpenGL or Unity and that kind of stuff because it's not primarily for game development. It's primarily for UI development. So, you can create it. It may not be very big or large scale games, but yes, Alex had created 2020 game, and I created Dino game, and then there is this person Ali who created Flappy Bird clone, and there are some other games as well on GitHub on Jetpack Compose, but it's very challenging. Jetpack Compose can now use for production app. Yes, I have seen many companies and many people who are actually using Jetpack Compose for production. But since it was in alpha, now it's in beta, so its API has been finalized and now it's getting more stable and stable. And also, it has become a very powerful and feature rich. So yes, I believe you can use it in production at this time. So Jetpack Compose already comes with like integration with existing Android ecosystem. So you don't need to migrate whole application to Jetpack Compose if your application is already live. If you can only do it one screen, or you can even customize the simple examples of partial parts of the screens with Jetpack Compose, so you can do it slowly, and you can see how this works. So yeah, I would say that I have not seen any performance problems in Jetpack Compose so far. It works like it should work, and there were some issues in scrolling list before, but now they are working on it, and now we have lazy column, lazy row, so it works in similar to recycler in Android. So yeah, I have not seen any larger problem issues. Maybe that's because I have done uh, Jetpack Compose on small application. Maybe a result could be different on large or big applications with existing users and devices, but I'm not sure about that. I have not seen any for now. So, thank you for your questions. I appreciate that. Thank you. It was good.